to mention that the like romantic like relationship world also is very important.
Right.
It was just very difficult there for me, though I had some experience with people, uh, people I dated with for a period of time, but it wasn't actually same as in my country.
Yeah, it must be
So
very different.
that thing was, to be honest, like nobody wants to talk about it, I think, but that was a very important dimension of like human being
Mm.
that we all wants to like fulfill. So if you feel that you are not, that's not the place for you to fulfill that dimension, it turned into something empty. Into
Mhm.
you feel empty inside, like you feel like you're not covering all your needs.
Sure.
And that is one of like a very important need in human being. I recognize that as a psychologist.
Mhm.
I think it's even more important than just making money.
Mhm.
Like that relationship part, that having a romantic partner uh, was something that I always wanted to achieve there, but it just didn't work for the time I've been there.
Mhm.
Could have worked for the future, but not
Right.
for the time I spent there. So I was sometimes missing my old life in Paraguay, where I was, where I had some very special people that I lived with, special people that people that we know each other. We are from the same country. We have the same culture. We have the same interests, same things that we like. So that makes a huge difference when considering having a partner, or you know abroad, or finding a partner at your own place, or
Mhm.
someone who is more similar to what you are more familiar with.
Yeah, culture matters a lot when it comes to long-term relationships. I had the same experience, so like I can definitely relate. But like in the US specifically, like what made it more difficult? Like what made it like harder to find the right kind of tune with the people there from a dating perspective?
Well, dating in America was like definitely something completely different, personally, from what I expected before.
Mhm.
It's worth mentioning that I basically, just to give you to give the people a very short context of what I was going through at that moment, like in the relationship world. I just broke up with my girlfriend when I definitely moved into the US. So I think that was the hardest part. So I was living that mourning process
Mm.
basically, and it was like so hard for me accepting that I was just by myself,
Mm.
that I couldn't just grab my phone and text that person that I love, or just call her and tell, hey, what should I do right now? I'm feeling so sad. Like, what can I do? Like, give me some, sort of like motivational words. Or maybe just hear that voice of the person
Mm.
you love from abroad. So that was like really, really hard. Um, so it took me sometimes like a few months, I would say, but I wasn't like I knew from the very first second I broke up with her that I couldn't just stay there doing nothing. So I had to move forward. Like I was in a different place. I couldn't just play to be sad.
Mm.
I had no chance to be sad or anything. I had to demonstrate strength. I had to demonstrate confident all the time, confident with my language, confident with my skills, with everything, to like apply to jobs,
Mm.
to perform good at work, to make the money I needed to pay for rent, and to save for my studies, and to do good at school. So I had to stay focused. And that exact type of activities is actually what it helped me to overcome the sadness of a breakup, of breaking up. Keeping myself busy all the time, working full time, studying, and I was also going to the gym, like taking care of me physically and mentally. So I kept myself like very busy
Mm.
during those like hard first month after the rupture.
So how long did it take that kind of well, grieving, right? Because you
Yeah, I
grieve
was grieving.
relationships.
I
So
was
like
mourning,
how?
grieving the
Yeah.
situation that took me like I would say like 4 months,
Okay.
four
Yeah.
months, and like the hardest part.
Hmm.
Then I started considering that I should start probably like meeting other people. I should start
Yeah.
probably getting to know like other girls from the city. So I downloaded some like dating apps and stuff.
As you
So
do nowadays.
that was the first.
Yeah.
That was actually the first time I started using
Right.
those and apps. It was something new for me. I never thought it would be like perfect, but I thought I got to start somewhere. Got to do something different. I got to continue moving forward, like
Mhm.
step by step, getting to know people, getting back to the world, getting back to show myself to the
Mhm.
to the world to see what's next, to see if someone might be interested and willing to share some time with me and stuff. So it was, and that language barrier was something very difficult to
Yeah. How
deal
did
with.
that work? Because I mean, you didn't
Yeah,
speak
firstly,
that
I
language.
remember I started like kind of like hanging out with a girl. I mean, she was truly nice. She was an English teacher actually, and she helped me out to with my English, and she helped me out with the TOEFL exam. The TOEFL examination is a necessary exam that all foreigners like have to take in order to get into school, and you have to reach a certain score
Hmm.
if you want to get into school. So I had to go through that TOEFL exam, and she helped me a lot with it. So I'm very grateful with her. And we had she helped me a lot. She was actually very like she was listening to me very patiently all the time. She gave me that like uh, kick of confidence to start. Then she moved to another state, but I stick with that. I can do it. Like I felt like I had a good time with her. Like I was expressing myself the best I could in another language. Was able to express my emotions. I was able to express my past, my history, a lot of different things that were completely different from using English just at work, which was like very
It's a different
typical.
vocabulary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a very like limited
Hmm.
vocabulary that I was using at work. So actually interacting profoundly with another person was way more fruitful, I
Hmm.
would say. So I had to expand my vocabulary, my language skills. That helped me a lot. And after that, I had to deal with like, well, now I'm able to understand and all the like English in general, like all the people, whatever they say, and not that fast and replying to them, or maybe I don't have that extensive vocabulary at that time, but I was defending myself pretty good. I had to do what I had to do. I had to start like meeting more people, hanging out, like inviting them to dinners, to stuff, in order to learn more about the culture in general,
Of
because it's
course.
completely different. For example, in Paraguay, and this is a very funny example, if you don't go to pick up the girl from their places, if you are going on a date, that is usually seen as a lack of like chivalry, or
Hmm.
it's
You're
like,
rude.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you're not that
Hmm.
gentleman enough.
Hmm.
It's like, but in the US, if you offer a girl to pick her up from her place, it could be seen as a very creepy move. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, why would you come to my place? Why would you have to know my place if I don't even know you yet?
Mm.
So, what are you planning to do with it?
Uh-huh.
It could be dangerous. Are you
Mm.
planning to creep me from creeping out after we met for the first time? So it seems like that type of I feel like that type of mindset is like what they have. If you offer them to pick her up from her
Mhm.
place. I'm not sure how it is in Hungary, but
Well, I think it's fine if you
uh,
go and pick them up. Like
like,
they're not
but in the
gonna.
US, like, there's too many, like, I guess, like very untrustable people. Very many.
Yeah, but
There's a lot of
why do you
creepy
think that
guys.
is? Like what's causing this lack of trust in the people
I
there?
think it's like individualism, firstly, and secondly, it's like there were a lot of cases of like crazy guys
Mm-hmm.
and creeping girls all the time. Like maybe some stories of like psychopaths,
Yeah.
like kidnapping girls.
So there's like a genuine thread there, or
Yes, like
is it a bit
everybody talks about
overblown?
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
right.
at least in small towns, it's
Mm-hmm.
more common that people are very careful to move around, to tell you where they live, to hanging out in public spaces, to make sure you're nothing wrong's happened. So people are very
Mm.
careful, very scared of people.
Mm, okay.
People are very scared of people all the time,
More in
especially
small
girls.
towns than in the city.
More in small towns
Okay,
than the city.
interesting.
Yeah, in the cities it's like a bit more common. It's
Uh-huh.
like people are more used to people, and more used to foreigners.
Mhm.
They're very used to it. Like they don't see anything weird about it. They don't even think about it, which is nice. Like a place like in New York, for example. But in small towns, like when I lived in Utah, Salt Lake City,
Mhm.
it's a Mormon state. So I'm not saying everybody is Mormon, but there's a lot of that. Like you gotta be careful. There's a lot of stories about crazy guys.
Huh.
Actually, it's so surprising that in a place like that, where you see like everything works perfectly, like everything's so clean, people are so kind, everything like seems to be perfect. But there's a lot of crazy stories about people, sexual assaulting other
Mm.
people and kidnaps, like chasing girls in a creepy way. So
Damn.
it was hard. I had to deal with it. Like I had to learn about it that first, and then had to move differently. Like I go like maybe a little bit slower sometimes.
So what's the solution to this? Like you always meet in public spaces,
You
and
always meet
that's
in
fine.
public
Like
places, and you always offer to pay bills. To pay half and half and stuff.
yeah, that
That was
too.
crazy. Yeah, for me as a Latin guy, especially from Paraguay, we always take care of the bill. At least like our first and night out.
Hmm.
Like we take care of everything. At least like our first like 3 4 nights out. Then we could start like talking, going over that splitting thing because hopefully you'll get something serious after like the third date.
Sure.
But in the US, it's like I remember a girl kind of like she got mad because I took care of the whole bill without asking her. Like I just went to like the service station and I paid the whole bill and then I said it's all good. Like you don't have to worry about it. And she said, "Hey, you didn't even ask me." I was like, well, I was just trying to be nice.
Mm.
And she kind of like, oh, that's how you do us Latin guys, right? You are more on like that's very patriarchal, and so you
Yeah,
want to
but
take care
how
of
is it
everything.
bad though? Like how is it because see like the serial killer thing I understand. Like you
Yeah,
have to be careful stuff. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But like how is it a negativity that you try to be like nice with paying the
You just
bill and
try to
stuff
be
like
nice. You take care of the whole bill, and how could that bother anybody? Like, but that's how it was. In my case,
hmm
it happened to me once, and I've heard from other guys and Latin guys that happened to them too
hmm
in Salt Lake City, Utah. So we got to clarify. It might not be the same in other states. Every
Sure.
state in the U.S. is completely different. They have their own laws, their own rules, their own like different culture or way to see things and approach different approaches. So that's my experience there. But I've seen that in many other places. Gotta be careful. It's not like you could just like pretend you do everything for the other person sometimes.
Yeah, don't be too nice, I guess,
They'll
because
be too
they're
nice, I
gonna
guess. They,
misinterpret it.
they can take you, they see things
Hmm.
differently.
But you've been in like a longer relationship there while being in the
Yeah,
US,
the
or?
longest I dated a woman there was like 6 months, I would say.
Okay. And how did it work out like
It
culturally?
worked out perfectly. I
Okay.
mean, I think she was like, and she liked the experience of like hanging out, dating with a foreigner, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. And we had such a great time too. It's just that I had to move to a different state to continue with the master's program.
Mm-hmm.
But we had something very, very unique, I would say. It wasn't that type of relationship like in Paraguay, which is like truly connected.
Mm-hmm.
We're very like, what I do, you do, we are one. You know,
Okay.
that's how we do here in Paraguay. Usually, it's
Mm-hmm.
like everything I do is should be like I should be careful because I should be considering your state of mind 100% all the time to make sure you don't get mad, to make sure you are like, because we're a team and we take care of each other. And that sounds pretty good. It was actually, I like that from Paraguay. But I also tried this more like relaxed relationship there, which was like, and like you do your thing,
Mm-hmm.
you be yourself, I do my thing and be myself. It's all good. We're still together. We help each other when we need, but we don't have to like base our own life in the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that as well. I like that. It was something a bit different for me. And Paraguayan girls are more traditional, and they expect a man to take care of a lot of things.
Yeah, you should pay on the first day.
You should definitely pay on the first day, definitely pay on the first, second, and probably third date.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
it.
there we
After that, you can ask them what's going on.
go. Where are we going with this? Yeah.
Are we going with this? Like, because otherwise, other way, we're gonna have to split the bill.
Damn.
That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah. But yeah, American women are. I like them because they are very independent.
Mm-hmm.
Independent. They show like they show like confidence. A lot of confidence. They don't base their confidence on men.
Mm-hmm.
They don't base their decision on what the people would think about them. So that is something that I really admire of American women. I think they're very strong, same strong or even stronger than men, to be honest, in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like at work, they do 2 to 3 work jobs as well. They take care of family, they take care of children. Yeah, I think they are like very powerful women, to be honest.
And here it's less so, or?
And I don't see here. I mean, we do the same. Of course, we have like very strong Paraguayan women, but most of the time it seems like because of this, we live in a patriarchal culture here, and we have to admit it. We have to admit it, and that requires that most women, once they find a good man, that man takes care of them
Mm-hmm.
in all sense. Like not talking about just like economically, but that man is supposed to, you know, work the relationship to the point she feels safe. She feel confident. She feel it's not like that comes within by default. They base those feelings in how the men treat them, how the men perform in their relationship.
So it takes more management
It
from the
takes
man's
more
part.
management. Yeah, I think, in my
Sure.
opinion, it takes a bit more management. Like American women is like they do their own thing. They know how to do things. Like they will never ask you for like, should I buy this or should I buy that? Should I like take this way or take the other way?
Mm-hmm.
Should I tell this to my people at work or should I go this way with my employees or go this way? Like they will do what they what they are confident with to do. But here is like our Paraguayan girls are a bit more like they tend to rely more in their like partner.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a lot of like facts that are involved, a lot of conditions. Like if a highly educated woman is in charge of like a workplace, she take care of employees and everything. So it's most likely she won't ask anything to her like husband or for
Right, like which milk to
she
buy in
will
the store.
yeah,
Sure,
yeah
sure, no.
she will take care
Sure.
of the whole thing. Yeah, which is fine. I'm not criticizing any gender here
Sure,
or
of course. I
anything. Yeah,
mean, we're only sharing our personal
it's just my personal view about like that difference.
Mm-hmm.
And but I also feel like Paraguayan women are way more affectionate.
Mm-hmm.
We're more affectionate, way more like attentive. Like they truly pay attention to their men's need,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually fantastic. So, all the women in the world should be valued for who they are, no matter where they come from. But we have to recognize cultures make certain behaviors vary among countries, people.
Yeah, of course. But actually, like after all these experiences, dating internationally and dating within your own culture, being in a pretty long-term relationship before going out to the US as well. After all this, which one do you prefer? Like, do you prefer multicultural dating as a way to form a stable relationship, or do you feel like the same culture helps more with the same thing?
You know what? I think both ways are possible,
Of course.
achievable, and could be really good options.
Hmm.
Both ways. We don't actually have to just stick with one of those,
Yeah.
and we don't have to. We have to try to get rid of that previous experience and previous mindset of like this is how it's gonna be. For me,
Hmm.
this is the only thing it will
Hmm.
work. So we have to stay open and flexible
Hmm.
because what I think it would work better is if that person, like multicultural person, and appreciate and its interest and show interest about your culture and appreciates your values and
Hmm.
your culture. And it will also work good if that person from your own culture stays like a bit open to or flexible to travel around the world and to open and to stay more like open minded,
Hmm.
to stay more open minded sometimes, because that at the end of the day is like the way we solve problems as a couple. It requires a lot of maturity and a lot of flexibility overall. So it could be over there, it could be here. Of course, it's gonna be easier
Hmm.
at, at your own place in your own country. I mean, that's no doubts about how that's gonna be easier for you to create those interactions, create those like romantic relationships, opportunities.
Hmm. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the clip. The full length of the episode is available right here. So go on, check it out.